Mr. Speaker, how many times has the Prime Minister met the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Commissioner to discuss his elastic version of ethics? Mr. Speaker, as you know, I'm always perfectly pleased to work with the Commissioner to answer any questions she may have. Mr. Speaker, I repeat my question. How many times has the Prime Minister met the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Commissioner? How many times? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, as I always said, I'm always very happy to meet with the Ethics Commissioner and work with her to answer any questions she may have on this topic and any other topic.
Has the Prime Minister met with the Ethics Commissioner? And if so, how many times? Very, very simple.
I am pleased to work with the Ethics Commissioner and Conflict of Interest Commissioner to answer any questions she may have. That's what Canadians expect of the Prime Minister, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
How many times has the Prime Minister met with the Ethics Commissioner?
Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, I am very happy to work with and answer the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Commissioner questions. I think it's extremely important that we be working.
It's been asked 4 times already. I don't even know why I'm trying, to be frank, but I'll repeat this simple question. How many times has the Prime Minister met with the Ethics Commissioner?
Speaker, I'm happy, as should be any member of this House, to work with the Ethics Commissioner, answer any questions that she may have. I think that's important.
This Prime Minister said he would stand up every Wednesday and answer every question that's being asked of every member on this side of the House, and he fails to do it. He's been asked 5 times today, Mr. Speaker, about the Ethics Commissioner. For the sake of my colleagues, I'll ask it again. How many times? 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 And how many times has he met with the Ethics Commissioner?
Mr. Speaker, Canadians expect clarity, they expect consistently, and when asked the same question, I will give the same answer. That's what Canadians expect. I will work with and answer the questions that the Ethics Commissioner and Conflict of Interest Commissioner may have.
Mr. truly believes in the importance of question period. If he sincerely believes in transparency and accountability, he's going to have to find it somewhere inside himself to answer this very basic question, because it only concerns him, and he knows the answer. He is being investigated by the Ethics Commissioner. How many times has the Prime Minister communicated with the Ethics Commissioner? Answer the question.
Mr. Speaker, when asked the same question, I will give the same answer. I'm happy to work with the Ethics Commissioner on any questions she may have. And one of the things that I like about Prime Minister's question period is I get to take questions from any MP across the way who has their questions, not just the party leaders, which I think is important for all members in this House to be able to ask direct questions of their Prime Minister.
Now, we know that the Prime Minister has said he will cooperate with the Ethics Commissioner, but what we want right now is cooperation with the House of Commons. For the 8th time, how many times have you met with the Ethics Commissioner?
Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to sit and work with the Ethics Commissioner on answering any of the questions she may have. That's the kind of things that is important to Canadians.
All Canadians know that the Prime Minister has trouble counting. When came time to do election promises, there was a $10 billion deficit. Now it's $30 billion. He has trouble with numbers. So I'd like to ask him a very simple question. For the 9th time, how many times has he met with the Ethics Commissioner? Give us a clear answer. Canadians want to know. Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any question she may have. In my former life, I was a school principal, and when I listen to the Prime Minister, I get the impression I'm listening to a kid who's claiming he's happy to go see the principal and unable to say how many times he's been to see him. The question is simple. 0 times, 1, 2, 3? I know it's below 5. And the question's a simple one. Is it 0 or 1? I get the impression the right answer is probably 0. I'm very pleased to work with the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Commissioner to answer any questions she may have.
Prime Minister was getting tired of pretending to answer the question, so he's decided he just won't even pretend to answer it at all. So I'll ask it one more time. We know that he has difficulty counting. How many times did the Prime Minister meet with the Ethics Commissioner with regards to the investigation into his trip to Billionaire Island?
Mr. Speaker, I am happy to answer as many questions as the members opposite have, but if they ask the same question, they will keep getting the same answer, that I am pleased to work with the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Commissioner to answer any questions that she might have.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Not only did they really miss their deficit targets by a whole lot, their revenue-neutral tax cut was off by $2 billion. So I know that there's some issues in terms of calculation. I'm going to try a different angle. A, was it 0 times did he meet with the Ethics Commissioner? B, was it 1 to 5? Or C, 6 to 10?
She might have.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A new day, sunny ways, new respect for Parliament, answering every question of every member. We're going to respect Parliament more. These are all the things that the Prime Minister said when he was campaigning. And now today, as you said, Mr. Speaker, Canadians will be able to judge the veracity of those words. Could you please tell the House how many times you've met with the Ethics Commissioner?
Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any questions she may have.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister broke the law. He accepted gifts worth thousands of dollars on Billionaire's Island. He's under investigation by the Ethics Commissioner. His obligation is to be honest with Canadians. What's he covering up here? How many times has he communicated with the Ethics Commissioner?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any questions that she might have.
But I think more relevant is the Prime Minister's dysfunctional performance in question period. So just how many times has he met the Ethics Commissioner?
Mr. Speaker, happy to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any questions that she might have.
Mr. Speaker, a well-known French writer once said, "Man is not what he thinks he is what he hides." So will the Prime Minister stop hiding the truth and show Canadians what he's actually made of, and tell Canadians how many times he's met with the Ethics Commissioner?
Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any questions that she may have.
Mr. Speaker, it's clear the Liberals are all show and no action. Perhaps another 6 months with their deliverology guru will allow the Prime Minister to work on his ability to deliver answers. How many times has the Prime Minister met with the Ethics Commissioner?
Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to work with the Ethics Commissioner and answer any questions that she may have.
The moral of this question period? Don't worry, I'm happy. That's the Prime Minister's new slogan. Because that's the answer that he gave to the Ethics Commissioner. Oh, no, wait. Actually, he confirmed 17 times today that he hasn't spoken to the Ethics Commissioner, Mr. Speaker. Why is the Prime Minister refusing to answer the question? How many times has he met with the Ethics Commissioner, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any questions she may have.